On today's episode, we get to speak with death doulas Jen, Blalock and Shelby Mundy. They discuss what end of life can look like when it's built around community and connection instead of just isolation or loneliness. We're doing it on your own, basically. In this case, they share with us how Jen became the death doula for Shelby's husband when he was dying with cancer. And then afterwards, Shelby said, I want to participate. I want to do this too, right? So in that way, that loss led them to co-found an organization that they've worked together on called Before I Die Cincinnati.
So join us today as we go into detail about what a death doula actually does, some green burial options, and how events like their Before I Die festival are helping communities normalize talking about death and approaching death with less fear and stigma. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Great. Another great episode. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of End of Life Conversations. I am the Reverend Wakil David Matthews, and today we have the privilege of speaking with Jen, Blalock, and Shelby Mundy. Jen and Shelby,
Hi.
welcome, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
They met in 2023 when Jen served as the death doula for Shelby's husband, Nick, who died of cancer in August of 2024. Walking through Nick's end-of-life journey together was profound and transformative. I'm glad that's true. That's always true. And it sounds so sweet what you put together with it. So it was marked by deep grief, of course, tenderness, meaningful connections, and an experience that revealed how the dying process can be approached with intention, presence, and reduced fear.
Yes, and hello, I am the Reverend Mother Ana Luisa Armendariz. Jen and Shelby's partnership was formed through a shared commitment to compassionate death care. Together, they combine professional guidance, personal insight, and a heartfelt presence to support individuals and families through one of life's most sacred passages, through their organization, Before I Die Cincinnati. So welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, and their podcast.
Thank you.
You'll all have to listen to their
Yes.
podcast.
I know.
And they have a newsletter. We'll put links in the notes for you to find their newsletter and connect up with them. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there was a death connection that created this pathway towards a partnership. But what part of that inspired your work?
Oh, Jen, how do we even begin this one?
It's hard, I bet.
Well, probably to begin a bit at the beginning, when 5 years ago I became a death doula, and I was called in to do this work, as many death doulas are, in a whole variety of ways, that it's very interesting to learn about that on podcasts and ask people how they came into the work. I came in because of a dream from my maternal grandma, Nana, and in that dream, she was dead and on a slab, like looking so sweet, and she was asking me to resuscitate her. And in the dream, I did that, and I just thought, wow, what a strange dream, and I went about my day. And then a random newsletter showed up in my email inbox, and there was an article about death doulas. I was like, what is a death doula?
Yes. Yep.
So strange. I had this
So
dream,
interesting.
and that was the spark. And I, slowly found my way as a death doula here in Cincinnati. And then, Nick became one of my first clients, really, Nick Mundy. And in the work we did together, which this is a blessing that rarely happens, we were working together a year and a half before he died. And that unfortunately does not happen. And then Shelby came in.
Yeah, so Jen and I actually, while Nick was working with Jen, we would just see each other in passing. That was kind of my time to go take care of myself, as I was a full-time caregiver for Nick and my kids at the time. Um, so we didn't really speak much. But
Mm.
then the day that I go to the hospital, and it was kind of a shocker to me to find out that Nick was actively dying. Uh, he had been experiencing confusion for a few weeks, but we all chalked it up to it just was the chemotherapy he was on.
Yeah.
And so the day I walked into the hospital and they're like, "Hey, you need to get Nick home. He's dying."
Mm.
I was just in complete shock.
Wow. Wow.
And the first person I called was Jen.
Mm.
And so Jen came there and walked us through the whole process. And
Mhm.
that is, I would say, where our relationship started. But it
Hmm.
wasn't until like a year, not even a year after Nick died, but um, maybe 6 months after Nick passed. I just, Nick was my purpose. There was so much
Mhm.
purpose in caring for him and my boys. And so when he passed, I kind of felt like, well, my purpose is past too. Where am I
Mm.
supposed to go from here? And I'm sitting on the couch and I just get this like message that I'm supposed to do death work and go be a doula. So I
Hmm.
go and get trained through an ELDA. And Jen and I just started kind of working together from there and had the first Before I Die Cincinnati festival
Mm.
um, October of last year, which really just confirmed that our relationship was meant to be.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so then we
Mhm.
took the steps into doing the client work and just being full business partners in Deaf Doula Cincinnati and Before I Die Cincinnati.
Mm. Yeah.
That's so amazing. I
Beautiful.
love
Yeah.
how spirit works through dreams and everything because I also had like something or someone say to me death midwifery and it was like, "Wait, what?" And so I love how both of you have like you heard the voice to go do the thing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I like to hear more about the work that you're doing. Also, how that conference went, and so maybe some insights
Mhm.
from you that you got from the conference and the kind of people that showed up, because those are always important.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so excited about the conference. You wanna share a little bit?
Yeah, when we did the conference last October, it was very much a DIY effort.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
have you all heard of Before I Die festivals?
I don't think so. Not
Not
specifically.
festivals.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it's pretty small, but there's
Hmm.
a woman named Gail Rubin out of New
Oh, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Mexico.
Of
out
course.
of New Mexico. That's who we
Yeah.
interviewed her.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Definitely.
So
She's great.
yeah, she's super helpful
Hmm.
and has been doing her festival, and it's really grown. It's amazing what she
Mhm.
has been doing.
Yeah.
And there was a festival up in Dayton, Ohio. That's about 50 minutes up the road from Cincinnati. And I spoke at one of those festivals, and I was like, we need to do a festival like this in Cincinnati. So we put together a day of death education, and Shelby and I just DIY'd it and got it
Beautiful.
done. And it was amazingly successful.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
question was, are people in Cincinnati ready to have conversations about death?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the answer was,
They sure were.
Resounding yes.
Yeah, so along with the festival, we also did a night of mediumship with an incredible medium, evidential
Mm.
medium in our area. Her name's Julie Conrad, because we really want to normalize a good evidential medium that can help you in grief. And so,
Mhm.
through our approach of the Before I Die Festival in Cincinnati, we are taking what we are calling alternative death care. That is the approach we're taking. So, kind of
Beautiful.
shifting away from the traditional. And we've created what
Mhm.
we are calling the 7 pillars of alternative death care.
Mm.
Mhm.
And that embodies, just being in community, ecological
Mhm.
integrity, transparency, interdisciplinary collaboration, innovation, and accessibility. And
Mm.
so, there was grief workers there, green burial, death doulas. We did a live
Mhm.
vigil demonstration, and then we had the night of mediumship. So,
Mm.
in our festival, we just really shifted, and because it was so successful and people were loving it, and we had just like a diverse array of people, young and
Mhm.
old,
Mhm.
different backgrounds, that were all there. We just really decided, okay, Cincinnati is ready and we're going to up level
Yes.
it. And
Mm.
Yes.
so this October 30th, we are taking it to this beautiful venue in Hamilton, Ohio called the Spooky Nook, which is kind of fun on Hallows Eve. So,
Mm.
and then taking it up to 300 people, and we'll have keynote speakers and breakout rooms so people can really get out of the day what they want out of that. So,
That's
yeah.
really cool.
So cool.
Yeah. So hopefully,
And one
everybody
of our
can sign up.
organizing principles,
Yeah.
and this is how we work with clients,
Mm-hmm.
but even organizing a festival like this is we take the approach of mind, body, spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and emotion.
Yeah.
And what happens around end of life is the body gets a lot of attention, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially a body that is ill. And the mind also is privileged in that area because there's so much to figure out.
Right.
And so when it comes to education, we want to ensure that we're also including in a balanced way spirit. Where does spirit fit in?
Mm-hmm.
And emotion, which is the more psychological, grief, mental health aspect.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that we're always creating a really balanced offering in that way.
Mm. Wow, that's so good. So important.
It's so important, and also it's interesting that you have found a thirst for all these different aspects of the end of life,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like sometimes people get stuck in one compartment, right? It's like the physical stuff, what's happening, what is it, what is the body doing,
Yeah.
and what is the mind telling us that we have, like the checklists, and what do we have to think about? And spirit gets kind of either you're in it or you're not, and it just seems like it's so essential to going through this journey in a very even, grounded way, but spirit gets cast out sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Wow.
And we did, both of our training was in interfaith or no faith.
Right.
But anybody, I think I'm sure you found that anybody that has, especially when you're approaching death, it's a kind of an opportunity maybe more than ever to really think about what is divine, what is important in the realm beyond this world,
Yeah.
So doesn't have to be a specific religion.
That's right.
It can be the
Not at all.
trees. Quite often it's the trees.
And that's like, Jen and I, we can work with people and meet them where they're at, and just we're very open about how spirit moves through us and helps us through those, moments. So it helps us find our people and them find us as well.
Yeah. I love that that's integral to everything you're doing. It's really sweet.
And
Go ahead.
I have to say that it's been a bit of a coming out process for me in these last 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
because when you go through doula training, there's two things. They say, never tell people what you feel about what happens or where spirit takes place. And then the advice was try to appeal to everybody.
Mm.
And the approach that we take is very shamanic.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the shyness. Like, it's bad enough people don't know what a death doula is, but what about a shamanic death doula?
Right.
But you might as well go for it. So I was very shy to come out there, but we're not so shy anymore, because to really work with us and get the fullness of what our gift is together that we offer our clients, it's like at a minimum, here's what we believe. And if you don't resonate with this, we're probably not the people for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And just be really willing to say, hey, this won't be a good fit. And so
Right.
this the very basics are that as humans, we have our physical body and then something else, a soul, an essence, je ne sais quoi, right? There is that part that is the mystery. And that when we die, we believe that the spirit or the essence or the soul transcends. The body dies here on this side
it's hailing here really
it's hailing.
bad.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Really?
actually, I'm going to ask you to just keep talking amongst yourself. I'm going to check out for just a bit and go check the house really fast. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
you're
keep
good.
going.
Keep going. Yeah, just keep going.
All right. Thank you.
Dang, yeah, that's going crazy.
That is kind of crazy, huh? Okay, well, yeah, thank you. That sounds so inspiring, and I'm glad that you were referenced Gail, because we really love her work, and we always are encouraging folks to connect with her and her work. I love the movie thing that she does. Where you get to movies about death. It's really great.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things we always want to think about is challenges, and you've spoken to this actually to some extent, the challenge of being shamanic in a world that might not understand what that means or might not want to participate with that. But you addressed that. You said you addressed it, and by just being upfront, being transparent about this is who we are and this is what works and what doesn't. But what other challenges, and of course technology, but what other challenges have you found in working with people?
Yeah, so actually, it's funny because we've found one of our biggest challenges is getting people to work with us sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's having the courage to dive into something that is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And we're finding, especially because, a lot of people would probably think, oh, death doulas probably work with older people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a majority of our clients are under the age of 40 and are struggling with end stage cancer.
Oh wow.
And so
Mm-hmm.
there seems to be there's a lot of resistance
Sure.
around working with us and getting to them before the end. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that is our pretty big struggle and
Yeah.
challenge that we're having right now.
It is because in part, whatever resistance a human has when they're feeling good,
Mm-hmm.
is hard enough. But then, at the end of a cancer journey, most people are just not feeling well.
Right.
They've either in extreme amounts of pain, medications, even
Mm-hmm.
during a lot of treatment.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to do substantive death work when you're not feeling well.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so that's what, and I've heard this on a couple of your podcasts that I've listened to. Education,
Mm-hmm.
education, education. I mean,
Yeah.
it's starting this conversation when you're young, when you're feeling well, do
Right.
it when you're older.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's why we're creating this event that is inviting and, dare I say, fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with spending a day of death education and having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
Mhm.
all about that for sure.
Changing
Yeah.
the narrative,
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah, we were just talking about challenges, Annalisa, and
Oh, good. Okay.
yeah, so that I really appreciate that, and the one of the statistics we've heard is that hospice is a good example that people often only take advantage of the last 2 weeks of their lives, and of hospice for the last 2 weeks of their lives, and it's a similar thing in that there's this stigma that if you're going to hospice you're giving up, and yet you can have that kind of incredible care for 6 months or more. So we really often talk about in my classes and in this podcast, we often talk about, understand, as our audience members, understand that if you're working with somebody or if you're going through it yourself, hospice is a wonderful, wonderful caregiver that you can take advantage of early on and don't wait till it's only 2 weeks
yeah.
left. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like conversations that we're constantly having right now too.
I'm sure. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
the myths, if
Yeah.
I talk about death, it creates, I'll die,
Mhm.
we're really learning,
Mhm.
and I wonder what it's like for other death doulas, that we are having to sell hospice
Mhm.
services.
Yeah.
That resistance
Mhm.
to,
Mhm.
and I think it's just a lack of understanding
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
that
Totally.
how there's limitations, of course, with hospice, and sometimes the benefit itself, like how it is expressed through Medicare,
Mhm.
can be very tricky, especially for younger people
Mhm.
who
Mm.
are in you know, in a lot of complex treatment kind of
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is a challenging aspect. But we love hospice.
Yep, we do.
Uh-huh.
We're like,
Yeah.
we are here to help you guys and work together.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
Yeah.
volunteered with hospice to learn how to be with people bedside, and
Mm-hmm.
super
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. And you talked about the complications around just treatments and all the things that are going on toward the end stages. There's also the anxiety and the depression that can come up. We are just starting to hear more about psychedelic therapies that are helping with that in some parts of the world. So, but that's really, again, that's kind of the point of having these conversations and of
Yeah.
being educated about it, because that can help to alleviate some of that anxiety, because you kind of know where you are and what's
don't
going
know.
on. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband, so Nick, before starting to work with Jen, which I really think helped open him up, is he started doing ketamine therapy.
Mm.
And so, just a quick little backstory, my husband was sick for 10 years.
Wow.
He had an autoimmune disease that mimicked lymphoma for like 7 or 8 of those. And then it mutated into a full blown cancer.
Mm.
And so Nick's biggest fear was always death. I mean, he knew, like, from a young age, he always was like, I'm going to die young. And he just had this like ingrained knowing in him. So he was very fearful of it. And in the last few years of life, he needed a lot of help to get through that fear. And so he did ketamine therapy, which ultimately opened him up and really helped him to do the work that Jen, was doing with him, and opened him up a lot. And essentially he overcame his fear of death before actually dying, which is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So important. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Yeah.
And I'll just specify a little bit of what that work was, because it
Yeah.
doesn't need to be in the mystery, right?
Yeah.
And, so part of it, well, Nick was very ready to receive the work. And, this is something we're still figuring out with people, right? But I was actually able to use my drum, which creates an altered state, and
The theta
then
waves.
bring him in a guided meditation across the veil and into the future of what life looked like on this side of the veil after he had died.
Oh, wow.
And, like, spirit's guiding it. I'm just the pass through.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
So
The conduit.
Yeah.
it's the
Literally.
conduit. And so in that experience, that is the substance of the work that helped him.
Uh-huh. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
love
if you
that.
guys are open, I think it's also really helpful to talk about how he died and what was happening here. Like, we need more death stories
Yeah.
out there
We
for people to
do.
hear.
We
Like,
really
what
do.
is, what constitutes a good dying situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a big reason I stepped in this too is, he did the work in that manner, but also didn't do the work in the manner of the practical things like last wishes, what he would want, those types of things.
Yeah.
But I knew him at a deep, like, soul level to be able to guide the experience with Jen's help.
Yeah.
And so when we got the phone call, or when I get the news that Nick was dying and we needed to get him home on hospice care, I was like, all right, let's go. Let's get him home. We brought him home, and I have 3 little boys. At that time they were 7 and 9. And I came home and I sat them upstairs and I let them know that their dad was coming home and he was dying. And I wanted them to be as much of a part of it as they wanted to, or as little as they wanted to. And I gave them autonomy over their choices,
Beautiful.
because I believe that kids deserve that. Growing up, I wasn't given that when my grandma was dying, and I would have loved to be able to be there for her. And so I gave them that choice, and throughout the weekend. And then also I opened my home up to everybody in our community. My husband touched a lot of people's lives. He was born and raised in Cincinnati and had just really amazing community and friends and people who cared for him through work, just every single part of his life. And so I opened up the doors to my house and let
Mm.
people come. And a lot of people have never seen active dying until those days. And Jen, that's when she stepped in and she, helped create an altar because she knew Nick and the things that would help him. So we had a beautiful altar that the kids tended to. And then we
Beautiful.
did this
Love it.
gorgeous string ritual that let everybody say their goodbyes and create a community within the house if people didn't know each other. So as, insanely sad as it was so beautiful to
Yeah.
just, our house was full of love. I mean, there was food, there were kids, there was playing and laughter, there was tears, there was just everything. And that experience alone, I mean, helped so greatly
Yeah.
in our grief.
Wow. What a great
And
example.
it is a great example, and that's exactly what it's for. It's to just be the foundation for the next part of your grieving cycle. It's based on this love and community and tears of light and sadness to take you to the other side when Nick is no longer in this realm, right? So
Yeah.
I love that you shared it with so many people. That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's great.
Yeah.
I think, and people in our audience who are thinking about this and, consider how beautiful that was and how good that was. And, you maybe, and everybody's going to be different. We know as death workers that every death is different, just like every birth is different. But sharing these ideas, sharing these death stories, like, moms or moms and dads share their birth stories,
Yeah.
it's just as important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just as important.
Yeah.
And FYI, Nick Mundy is a very, very strong part of our business. Like, he
Sure.
is so present.
He's so present. He's just
So
like, right
present.
here. Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Nick.
Always.
And so we share that as well
Sure.
as, part of being a shamanic death doula is trying to create that connection on this side of the veil before a person travels over. And like, I have no proof or evidence that like of how that happens, but intuitively it just makes sense that
Yeah.
we try to cultivate that.
Yeah. But then it happens, like I stood up at Nick's memorial where there were hundreds of people. And I let them know, if you sense a sign or there's a sign or anything that Nick gives you, call me and tell me.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that experience the same exact things,
Wow.
would just call me and be like, okay, black and blue butterfly. This little girl, when Nick was dying, came to my house and she drew a black and blue butterfly on a little Post-it card and asked if she could put it on the altar. Like, he's dying. I don't know why she chose the black and blue butterfly, but she did. And then the day after Nick died, one of my sons and my brother was laying on the hammock and a black and blue butterfly came and landed on his nose. And then that became the sign that everybody in our community was receiving from Nick after he died. And before that, everybody's like, I had never seen a black and blue butterfly in my life. And then here it is everywhere. So
the awareness, the invitation to be aware of that too is present.
That's beautiful.
I really love that.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges that you face with the community where you work?
Yeah, we just talked about challenges a minute ago. So
no, sorry.
No, you're good.
I messed up.
Yeah, we got it.
How do you keep yourself resourced?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
Go for it.
Well, we have so much fun working together. So I would say for anybody who's a death doula out there, find a partner, because just like you two, you have each other to do this podcast, and it provides so much energy. And, so resourcing for me personally means spending time with spirit, spending time journaling. We don't have 10-hour work days,
Right.
we just kind of flex and flow. Yeah.
It's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But we find that our energy and when we're out in the community and the people we're meeting, it's just, I don't know, it's magnetic and we're attracting the right people
Yeah.
and creating this community, just it's just wild the way it's working, like the synchronicities of the universe
Yeah.
bringing people, in alignment with us. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that actually speaks a lot to that it is the way for you, because when people ask me, aren't you always depressed and upset by what you're experiencing? Like, I get like refilled. My cup gets refilled when I'm doing this work because, like you pointed out, we're just the conduit. We're not actually doing any heavy lifting. We're just the presence so that the divine or the mystery can tend to our people.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
But
just
it can get sad.
sure.
And
Yeah.
I think when sadness and it can get sad and heavy. I think like it depends on how many clients you're working with at any one given time.
Sure.
And so we definitely, you know, just find our private time
Yeah.
to, for me, I like to be on my couch and watch a little, watch
Yeah.
some type of little program. That's kind of a way
Yeah.
that I recharge.
Yeah.
And taking care of our homes and our, respect of our individual lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for each of us individually, our homes are like that
Sacred.
is a place
So
to,
sacred. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back to and feel refueled.
Yeah. Yeah. We just all right. We're just getting started with a new nonprofit that does end of life, helps with end of life planning and resources and affordability. And we did it was kind of a fun idea that we had that we'd go to a public market. And when I say we, I'm talking about another friend of mine, Jennifer. Her name's Jennifer too.
No, Jen.
Another Jen.
Another Jen.
Anyway, so we just did this weekend for the first time. So we put a booth up in the public market and we just said, come tell us your stories. And,
Oh,
and, there
wow.
was people that came and wanted to talk to us and people that looked at it and went, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
But what made me think of it was that almost every one of the stories were just so profound and deep that, they'd walk away and we'd both look at each other and just go, okay, let's breathe a little bit, let's just hold that and just, let that settle in and just be, and open up to the flow
Yeah.
and allow the flow to kind of cleanse it in a way, and not really cleanse it, but just, what's the word I want? Just take it in, and
Yeah.
hold it in a
Just be with
peaceful and
it.
loving way.
Metabolize it.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Yeah, because that just helped us be ready for the next person to walk up. But wow, and it's very impactful. When people are willing to share their stories, wow, it was profound. And not to and to just go, well, thanks a lot. That wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys
Yeah.
sharing that. Yeah, you need to take time and finding whatever way that is. I like to go for a walk in the woods and hug
It's a
trees
good way.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah,
Forest bathing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing those. That's one. I think that's one of my most one of the ones I like to ask most.
Yeah.
um,
I like that.
yeah. Is there anything that frightens you about the end of life yourself? And then is there, again, the other thing is just what else do you wish we would have asked as we're kind of winding things down here?
We were talking about that question earlier, and I can say there's nothing really that frightens me. Watching what happened in my husband's last breath and what
Mm,
took place before that, and what I've experienced in his afterlife and this after process, I don't fear it.
mm.
It like kind of brings excitement to know what exists beyond here. Um, yeah, so there's really not a lot of fear for me
Mhm.
around that.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm more curious than I
Yeah.
am fearful. At the same time, I want to be walking on this earth as
Long
Jen
as
Blalock for as long as possible, in a healthy enough body. But I do sense if we go back to the mind, body, spirit,
Yeah.
and emotion, I feel that spiritually, I feel so supported. I'm not worried about my death. And I always say, I'm not worried about anybody who dies, period. I don't worry. I'm sad. I get worried, maybe. It's not a word I like to use a lot, but, about the people on this side of the
left.
veil
Yeah.
because, particularly when it's young people dying and tragic circumstances or, there that profound sadness.
Sure.
But I don't worry about people who die.
Mhm.
However, but I do feel like my body is afraid to die. My body is biologically programmed to survive
To
up
keep
until the
going.
last breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I suspect that my body would maybe be feeling fear,
Mm.
even though my mind is curious, my
Yeah.
spirit is ready, and emotionally, I'm just like, woohoo, let's go for the ride.
Yeah.
It sounds
So
familiar.
it's not a simple, slam dunk answer.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you guys? What are
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I said it sounds familiar. It sounds like exactly what we have said in the past. Ana Luisa often says, I can't wait.
I can't wait. I'm actually really excited for it. I mean, my daughter's like, you're like a passive suicidal, wannabe, because she's like, you're always like, oh, am I going home yet?
Yeah.
I think it is a mystery. I really do. And my body, one of my practices is to imagine me dying. And so I like meditate on leaving this body because I'm really ready.
Yeah.
I think it's
Nothing wrong in saying that.
I'm not a life supremacist.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know?
I have a neighbor down the street who's the same thing. She's same way. She's like, I cannot wait. I think about it all the time. Like, not in a bad way. I just do.
Yeah, no, and part of it is, it's been fueled by my theology. It's been fueled by, shamanic journey practices. It's been fueled by lucid dreaming work that I've done, and meeting certain people who have a very clear eye of what it is that's potentially on the other side. And so, I'll still grow a garden and I still raise my children and I still go for hikes, but I know there's something else that I'm ready.
Looking forward
To return to.
Yeah.
I love that.
We actually have
Yeah.
a practice that we do, and well, it came from a Buddhist practice that's a long, like an hour-long guided meditation or longer, where we go through the whole letting go of all the different parts of who you are to the end of letting go of your body, really simulating death as best you can. And then the fun part when we've done this, I haven't done this one yet, but my teacher has done it, is we go and before that we dig a grave out in this person's land, like just deep enough that you can't see over the top, right? And then after you've done this whole meditation, the last part of it is you go out and lay down in the grave and sleep there for the night, right?
Wow.
And but again, it's like what Ana Luisa is talking about. We can some people are comfortable, as is comfortable. Our people are as comfortable enough to really take themselves through that process, and it can be a profound experience because it also just emphasizes, as does any experience around death or dying, how important this moment is. Each moment is, and how we want to be here in this moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also want to just say that for those folks who do have a fear or an anxiety or trepidation about death and the unknowing, it's also okay. Like
Yeah.
we are all on the spectrum of, evolving into different parts of ourselves. And, sometimes our faith tradition requires you to do certain things in order to get into heaven or whatnot. And there is anxiety. I've worked with people who are very anxious about dying, not because of the physical death, but because they're not sure about the other side.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all
Be where you are.
quite good.
Yeah.
Be where you are.
Yeah. And find people
where
that'll
you are.
walk with you. That's really important. I love that, Jen.
That part, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always somebody willing to walk with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta find them.
Yeah. Is there anything you wish we'd have asked before we call it a time?
Not really. I've enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
I liked
Yeah.
I liked the questions that were asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, what our tagline in our website and our belief, it is to embrace the passage.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if we were to leave on any thought, it is embrace the passage.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Every one of
Uh,
them.
right.
There's so many passages in life. Embrace them.
And
Beautiful.
embrace the passage of death as
Yeah.
well, because
Mhm.
it is a
Mhm.
passage for most of
Yeah.
us if
Mhm.
we're
Right.
dying gradually. If
Mhm.
you die suddenly, it's a different kind of passage.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Right.
imagine if you've done your preparation work, the practical things,
Mm-hmm.
but that you've cultivated your philosophy and belief system.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
You are prepared. Should a sudden death come your way that you have no control over,
Yeah.
Mhm.
wouldn't it be nice to have some preparation?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
Because
Yeah.
a
you've
good
been
argument for doing
cultivating
this
a
work.
relationship
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
passage, which all of us have.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
One way or the other. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
It's
Can't
it's
sneak
such
out of
a
that.
good argument for doing this work and talking about it all the time, no matter where you are
All
in
the
your
time.
journey. Yeah. So you can
Yeah.
always count on us for that if you need to.
100%.
Oh, we like that.
Yeah.
appreciating that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much.
So we will look forward to coming and chatting with you once you get a chance to have us on your podcast.
Absolutely.
Thank you
And
so
thank
much.
you so much for your work.
Blessings. Yeah, it's so
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah. Thank you guys for, having the conversations. We appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Conversations about the end of life.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to Charles Heaston, the composer of the original music you are listening to now.
And of course, thanks to you, our audience, and all of our amazing guests. Please come back next week for another great episode. Share this with your friends, family, and community. We hope you will subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Substack. Each guest's additional information will be found in the podcast notes. And of course, if you have a good end-of-life story to share, please reach out. We are always eager to hear from you.